Yes, people. So this is episode 7, and I'm here to talk to you about building a brand with no shortcuts. This is basically me talking about building my clothing brand, and let me be honest, yeah, it is not easy. It is tedious. It is very tiring, especially when you're still working a job. So for me, I'm still working my full-time job whilst doing my clothing brand. And let me just get to the nitty-gritty bit of it. It is long hours. From the genesis of the business or building a brand, long hours. Excuse me, but yeah, long hours at the beginning. And the reason why I say this because for me, I do my 9 to 5, and then when I get home, I tend to have a nap for about 2 hours just to refresh myself, recharge my body, and then after that, I get to the planning side. I get to designing. I get to sampling products with multiple manufacturers. I don't use one. I use up to about 8 to 10, or probably even more. I'm being honest with you. I then also need to do like website building as well. I also need to set up my email marketing. So by the time I've done all that, I don't go bed till about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning because there's so many things that I need to do. And I like to evolve around the two pillars that I like to work with in terms of building a brand, and that is quality and trust. Now, the way your brand can hold weight in this clothing industry is the quality of your products. I wouldn't necessarily say the quality of your well, the quality of the product. When I'm talking about quality of the products, I'm talking about the material wise. Does it last long? Does it feel good? I'm not necessarily talking about good designs, because me personally, I believe that you can have a rubbish design, but if the fabric of the quality is good, people tend to go with it. So, but yet again, a good design can help elevate your brand. Because listen, at the end of the day, there's so many people around the world. You know, there's different designs that people might like. You might think you designed a good product, but someone else may think, no, I don't really like it. But then you may think that you designed a bad product, but then someone else may feel like, oh, I like it. So it's a very opinionated. So it goes both ways. And then secondly is trust. Trust is so important when you're building a brand. I can't underestimate this. Now, how do you build trust? The way you build trust is by storytelling your journey. For example, right now, I'm creating episodes, a series of the beginning of my brand, the beginning of my clothing brand. So, in the next 3 to 5 years, when my clothing brand is has elevated by the grace of God, and we're entering new heights, you can watch this video and be like, wow, he actually started his brand in his car. He's built this from the ground up. People like to hear the beginning of where a branding comes from, because it's authentic and people can relate to it. And you know what, as well, it can even inspire someone, because by the grace of God, this clothing brand is going to be competing at the highest level with other clothing brands. And people can see, listen, you can do the same thing that I've done. All you've just got to do is stay disciplined, stay committed, and focus. You understand? And build that trust. So the way you build trust is storytelling. Show them the good side of the business. Show them the bad side of the business. Show them how you're feeling when the product, the sample is poor. Show them the tiring hours of what you need to do with email marketing. Show them the honest reviews from customers. Show them the shipping orders. Show them the chargebacks. I haven't done my drop yet, but I'm expecting a chargeback. It's part and parcel of the game. Show them how you deal with a chargeback. Because listen, at the end of the day, I know as a clothing brand owner, people are gonna want to do a chargeback for no reason. But I'm ready for it. Listen, mentally, I'm so ready for a chargeback. Like, honestly, I'm so ready for it. So just show them, show them the what goes on behind the scenes as well. I think as well, building a brand, you want to how can I put it? So building a brand, right, with no shortcuts, right? For me, like I've got no investors, I've got no business partner, so everything's being funded by me, you know. So, and what one thing I realized is I'm gonna have to put a lot of money, I wouldn't say a lot of money, but a lot of my own money into the business before I can see any sort of profit, you know. So for me, it's, I know for the fact for the first couple of years, I'm risking money. I'm risking my own money to make this work, and people don't really understand that. People think like you're gonna, when building a brand, right, that you're gonna, you know, be on this positive cash flow and stuff. Nah, especially with clothing brand, nah, because you haven't really built your audience, you haven't really built your who you're really targeting. So you're gonna spend quite a bit of your own money to get it up and running. But you see me, it's a risk, of course, but I don't mind it. Why? Because I believe that this brand is gonna be up there with the other brands, you know. So building a brand is not easy, especially when, you know, especially when you speak to manufacturers. You know, you tell them to design this product in a certain way, and then when the sample comes, it comes completely opposite, and then you want to order another sample, spending more money, you know, before you get it right. And then also as well, how are you marketing your brand, your product, your campaign? You know, especially when you haven't really built that audience yet. So how are you going to do your marketing campaign? What are the strategies that are you going to use? Because you can't just use one strategy. You've got to use multiple to get your brand out there. You've got to use a lot of online marketing methods. You've got to use a lot of physical marketing methods, you know. So building a brand with no shortcuts is not easy. I'm being honest with you. And what I'm going to do as well, this is just, I'll put this as part one of building a brand with no shortcuts. Later on down the line, in the course of the year, I'll do that a part two and a part three of like the details of what it takes to build a brand with no shortcuts. But this is just like an opening episode of, you know, series. Let me put it that way. That building a brand is not easy. It's gonna take a lot of your time, but are you committed in sticking to your plan? Are you gonna trust the process that you set out for yourself? And if you are, then this is for you. But if you're not, then you're gonna exit the industry very, very quickly. But listen, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. More episodes will be dropping every day, if not every 2 days, but at least a minimum of 2 to 3 episodes a week will be dropping. So subscribe and like to not miss out. Stay tuned and stay blessed.